बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। नाज़रीन इकराम, अस्सलामु अलैकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। प्रोग्राम रेज़ ऑफ होप, उम्मीद की किरणों के साथ तारिक गौरी हाजिर खिदमत है। नाज़रीन मोहतरम, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह ताला आज भी हमेशा की तरह से एक इंतहाई अहम मौजू के साथ और मुअज़्ज़ज़ हमारे मेहमानान ग्रामी के साथ आपके साथ हाजिर खिदमत हैं। गुज़िश्ता माह अक्टूबर में बड़ी गहमागहमी हमने देखी और म्यूनसिपल इलेक्शन हम सब ने ऑब्ज़र्व किए। हज़ारहा उम्मीदवार खड़े हुए, जो जीते वो आज अपनी सर्विस में हैं। सवाल ये है कि जो जीत ना सके, जिन्होंने अपने नाम बैलेट पेपर पर उम्मीदों के साथ रकम किए, वो आज कहाँ हैं। आज की गुफ्तगू का मकसद, आज का जो मौजू हमारे प्रोग्राम का, वो है लीडरशिप विद फैक्ट्स। कि जो नाम हम जब रखते हैं बैलेट पेपर पर, व्हाट इज़ द रीज़न फॉर दैट। कि ठीक है, अगर आप जीत गए, आप एक सर्विस दे रहे हैं, लोगों ने आपको मुंतखब किया, एंड यू आर देयर फॉर देम नाउ टू फुलफिल ऑल देयर नीड्स व्हाट दे आर नीड फ्रॉम यू। But hundreds of those candidates, those who could not make this time, maybe next time, but as a leader, where do we want to see them now? ये है आज का हमारा मौजू। वो हमारे लीडर हजरात, वो शख्सियात जो चाहते थे मेरी आपकी नुमाइंदगी करना, लेकिन क्या महज उनका मकसद इलेक्शन लड़कर अब अगले इलेक्शन का इंतज़ार करना है, या जिस मकसद के लिए वो सामने आए थे वो मकसद आज भी उनके सामने मौजूद है या नहीं। यही चीज़ हमने डिस्कस करनी है कि ऐसे कौन से अवामिल हैं जिनकी वजह से ऑल ऑफ सडन दोज फेसेस आर डिसअपीयर्ड। ऐसी ही एक शख्सियत वार्ड 11 से हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं इमरान हसन साहब, और उनकी कैंपेन मैनेजर ज़ीला फ़ातिमा साहिबा हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं। गो के इमरान हसन साहब, he could not make it to the office, but we want to know from him his perspective whether now he is just going to home and wait till next election, or of course is he there for the purpose with his same sentiments and passion to serve the community। इंतहाई अहम मौजू है। आइए तारुफ करवाते हैं आपका जनाब इमरान हसन साहब और ज़ीला फ़ातिमा के साथ। सबसे पहले इमरान भाई, अस्सलाम वालेकुम रहमतुल्लाह।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।
Thank you very much for joining us. You heard me. Actually, I won't call this is my pain, but this is my very valid question. And of course, we're going to discuss your opinion on this particular topic. ज़ीला, अस्सलाम वालेकुम रहमतुल्लाह। खैरियत से हैं, ठीक ठाक हैं?
बिल्कुल।
आपका भी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया टू जॉइन अस। माशाल्लाह इमरान भाई, आपसे मैं ये गुफ्तगू का आगाज़ करना चाहूँगा। आपने सुना एक माह से ज़्यादा, करीब 2 माह तक एक कैंपेन चलती है, दिन रात डोर नॉकिंग हो रही है, जाकर लोगों से सवालात करते हैं, अपना तारुफ करवाते हैं, उनसे वोट का तकाजा करते हैं। इलेक्शन भी होते हैं, यकीनन चाहे 10 कैंडिडेट हो या 5 कैंडिडेट हो, 2 कैंडिडेट हो, जीतना एक ही न है। बाकी कहाँ जाते हैं, फिर हमें अगले इलेक्शन तक उनकी खबर नहीं होती। मैं दोनों एस्पेक्ट से आपसे जानना चाहूँगा। पहले आपके नुक्ता नज़र से, आपने जिस वार्ड से इलेक्शन लड़ा, क्या सोच के इलेक्शन में आप गए, उससे पहले आपकी क्या सर्विसेज थी, और इलेक्शन के बाद आप अपने आप को कहाँ देख रहे हैं। इमरान भाई।
सबसे पहले मैं आपका शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ तारिक साहब, जो आपने ये हमें मौका दिया है, ये अपॉर्चुनिटी दी है कि हम ये आपके साथ ये डायलॉग करें, आपके व्यूअर्स के साथ हम क्या कहते हैं, थोड़ा बहुत अपना पर्सपेक्टिव शेयर करें। और जो हमारे साथ हैं आज ज़ीला फ़ातिमा, इनकी भी क्या कहते हैं बहुत ज़रूरी क्या कहते हैं कंट्रीब्यूशन है इस डिस्कशन में, क्योंकि ये जो कैंपेन हमने क्या कहते हैं तैयार किया था, इट वाज नॉट अ वन मैन शो, इट वाज रियली अ कम्युनिटी एफर्ट। और कम्युनिटी एफर्ट तो हमारे कम्युनिटी के साथ ही शुरू होगी, and inshallah this time this is how we said Bismillah Rahman Rahim and we move forward forward. And it's not really something that we thought about in 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. In fact, we have been planning this, Tariq Saab, for 8 years. This is not, this is not my first campaign. 2014 में मैं पहला खड़ा हुआ था वार्ड 11 के लिए, यही वार्ड के लिए, और उस ज़माने में हमारी कोई एक्सपीरियंस नहीं थी इलेक्शन लड़ने की, तो उसमें हमने काफ़ी सीखा. We had a lot of experience, and we took a lot of positive, takeaways, and we applied it to the next campaign, which was in 2018. तो 2018 में भी मैं खड़ा हुआ, और उस कैंपेन में I had the privilege and the opportunity to work together with Zilaf, who was applying her own experience, and I'll let Zilaf talk more about that at that juncture. But we put a very strong campaign together a second time, and alhamdulillah, both in 2014 and in 2018 we finished second place. It was a respectable finish when all the other candidates behind us, their votes combined didn't equal what we had. And that gave us the encouragement, the confidence that the community's support is with us, because we were maintaining an average of over 2,000 votes. So we thought, inshallah, we'll try again in 2022. And when the results finished in 2022, again, we finished second place. It was a respectable finish, but it wasn't the outcome we were hoping for. But alhamdulillah, we'll see what the future holds. But I hold my head up high, and I thank, first and foremost, our voting public who came forward and cast their votes, and those who supported the campaign, and those who volunteered, of course, and those who donated, because a successful campaign has so many different aspects, including endorsements. And we had so many aspects of the campaign we can talk about, but at the right time, I'll allow you to or invite you to lead the conversation and ask those pointed questions. But the future is bright. Alhamdulillah, we'll continue to inspire and motivate our next generation to come forward. And I see bright leaders like Zila Fatima, leading this conversation and continuing this dialogue in the future.
Thank you very much. Again, the second part of my question, I'll come back to you. I'll move to Zila Fatima. Zila, you ran that campaign, and the whole community was, of course, watching who is doing what, and you've been acknowledged like Imran Hassan Bhai himself. And I heard many media people and different conversation and analysts mentioning in particular Imran Hassan Bhai's campaign and yourself. So again, for a leader, what do you think that you would support Imran Hassan? Is this only about to bring yourself on board, that one day probably you're going to be there? Or you really think that leadership is all about service, or something that has to be done in order to bring people of the community that you want to represent to, those people on board with their all need to be addressed? What do you think, Sita?
I think leadership is definitely a lot more than pursuing your own dreams of one day becoming somebody important. And throughout the campaign, when we were doing community outreach activities and speaking to crowds, young people, elders, women, children, the one thing I reiterated was that me, myself running this campaign and supporting Imran Hassan wasn't just supporting one individual or one man because I think he's a good person or he could make a good leader. It was supporting the community, because if one person who I believe could be good leadership for our community gets their foot in the door, it opens the way for all of us behind them, our younger generations, and it's about supporting the community and supporting the leadership that you believe in. So I've always aligned myself with people that I thought whom I thought had genuine interest in actually doing community service and building up the community. People that I believe that just weren't in it for the title or the name. So having done my research and speaking to people and watching Imran's career in the past, his community service from the past, I put my effort and all of my trust behind him knowing that he could serve our community.
Okay, Imran bhai, now I'm going to coming back to the same question again. Any person, any candidate, we just learned that over 6,306 people came forward, put their names on ballot paper. What do you think a person who want to put his or her name on ballot paper deserve whether to put her or his name on paper or not? What are those elements? What are the prerequisites? For example, I see, I'm not going to mention my ward, but an individual put his name on ballot paper. When I got a chance to talk to the individual, that, okay, I lived here for almost 12 years, but never saw a cross. Like, there are hundreds of things happening in this community, but you know what I mean, like there. So he mentions like someone else that, yes, I belong to that person, and yes, that person is that person. But I don't see you. If you really have the pain or courage to come forward and really want to care about the people you want to serve, but all of a sudden, like, you came forward, which is okay. There's no second opinion. You have all the rights to put your name on ballot paper, of course. But if you have that thing in you, you're so much passionate about serving community. But again, my question is, this prerequisite, how many people you think realize that I should go back before I put my name on the paper and see what is needed out there and who is in what need and what I can do for them? What do you think, Imran Hassan Sahib?
So, Tariq Sahib, I can speak from my own experience. Long before I decided to run in 2014, I really, love Mississauga and love the community in which I live and work and raise my family. And I have been in Mississauga for over 30 years, but that's not enough to say that I'm running. I think my own experience was contributing to building up the community, and not just building up, our when I say our community, the Muslim community or the Pakistani community, I mean building up the Mississauga community. And I decided that my passion is business, so I will contribute my time and contribute my resources towards the Mississauga Board of Trade. So I chaired two different committees at the Mississauga Board of Trade. One was the Growth and Power Committee, and the other being the International Trade Committee. And I did that for several years. And once I felt that I had brought enough attention and awareness from the South Asian community as well as the Muslim community to the Mississauga Board of Trade, I felt that I could move, towards some other passions that I had, namely the local food bank, and not the Muslim Welfare Center, but the local Mississauga Food Center known as Eden Food for Change. And I really wanted to do something to help make a difference in the Mississauga community, but through a mainstream organization like Eden Food for Change, where I became their vice president, and I continue to serve on the board and help raise awareness and funds through an initiative that Zilif and I started over 4 years ago called the Mississauga Christmas Breakfast. And although it's themed Christmas, it's really in the spirit of giving. And we've raised over the last 4 years over $100,000 for the local food bank. So that's no small amount. And in addition to serving as the vice president of the board for Eden Food for Change, I've also contributed my time to PO Crime Stoppers, and I've become the chair of PO Crime Stoppers. And that's something, again, when you think about how we can protect our community, how we can make our community safer and stronger, there's no better way than to do so through a community-led organization like Crime Stoppers. And alhamdulillah, the different aspects of community building come through the service you provide to your community, and not just over 30, 60, and 90 days, and not just by donating your money, but but contributing your time, energy, and resources. So this is how I've contributed to helping build a safer and a stronger Mississauga, and specifically focus my energy in Ward 11 in Mississauga-Streetsville area. But I encourage others to do the same thing, and not just put your name on the ballot when you feel that you want to make a difference, but start today by making a difference and living outside of the silos of our own community and working and contributing to the larger Mississauga community.
And this is probably the crust of the whole, like the question that they must consider serving before putting your name on ballot paper. Zilaf, this is very interesting. For the viewers, if you do not know, the voter turnout was 21.8%, not even 22%. So now my question is, what do you think? Is this just the voter that do not come out and vote? Or maybe this is the system that doesn't make them to come out? For example, I know, for example, in my area, for 5 candidates, and one is already won, and we know the results. All of those candidates won were there already in council, already there, right? There was no upset that we can discuss or not resolve. Is this something that need to be done about it? To bring the voter out means the system is working, or there's need to be something done with the system? What do you think?
I think there are 2 reasons that the voter turnout is as low as it is, and it's shameful how low. 80% of people in Mississauga didn't vote. That's 80% of people whose voices, whose opinions, whose needs don't matter or will not be heard at council because they didn't get a chance, or they did get the chance, but they didn't actively participate in picking their voices in council. The 2 reasons I think that voter turnout is really low is 1, lack of awareness for the importance or on the importance of municipal council and municipal government and their job, and 2, voter apathy. And the reason I say that, lack of awareness is an obvious one. Many people, and we had this experience in 2018, we had this experience this year in 2022, when you go to the doors, many people didn't even know that there was an election happening in October.
True.
And then when you had conversations with people, not only did they not know about the election, they also didn't know what the role of a municipal government was, or the amount of impact that a municipal government has on your daily life. Everything that's necessary for you and for us to function as individuals in our daily lives is controlled by the municipal government, is managed by the municipal government. So that's one. There definitely needs to be more of an awareness campaign from the city itself. I'm talking about the city of Mississauga, but from all municipal cities and administrations. An awareness campaign on what a municipal election is and who you're electing. A lot of the times people ask you, well, which party are you with? And there is no party at the local level. So
True.
So that's the first aspect of it. And the second is voter apathy. And I realized that this year in 2022, because I guess in 2018 I was a little bit younger and more naive. But this year while I was running the campaign, and a lot of my other friends and colleagues that I've worked with in the past also ran their campaigns in various regions in the GTA and surrounding, there was a lot of voter apathy because we have qualified candidates running, but they cannot beat an incumbent. And if they can, it's rare that a candidate, no matter how qualified and how popular and well loved by the government, beats an incumbent. In Mississauga, the 3 ridings that were open, the people that got elected in those open ridings were the people that were endorsed by the previous councillor. Mm-hmm. So that says a lot about the electoral system of this city and of surrounding cities. So, I mean, think about it. If 3,000 people are going to the ballot box to vote for a candidate, whether it's in Ward 10 or 9 or 11 or 2, and they're voting for somebody that they know might not win, it takes away that excitement. It takes away that whole motivation to actually go and vote. right? So that voter apathy definitely exists, and it's the reason that incumbents are so hard to beat. Why? I think that's a question that needs to be explored more as a community even, and as a city.
Exactly, and I think this is one of the things that why we are having this discussion today. So like we can bring some awareness towards the public, bring some education towards the public. But Imran Hassan Bhai, please put some light on it. Like, how do we bring this education and awareness for public? Because the reason is, and as we were discussing an hour ago, we noticed some of the area, a winner candidate, for example, I'm not just going to give exact numbers, so we don't want to point out someone, say won by 1,000 votes, and the follower, the runner-up, two of them almost had 900 votes each. So that means that the one who won with 1,000 votes won already, but two of them from same community, we saw that each of them almost have 900 votes. So this system itself, or what Zilaf just mentioned, that need to be addressed. How to educate and bring awareness among, we were going to talk about the candidates as well, but for the public and for the government, who is of course bringing this all application of the whole system, उनको अब कैसे address करेंगे? मान है.
Tariq Sahab, I think what you're referring to is political maturity, right? We need to be able to have a meaningful conversation with those who seek representation and want to contribute to the community, and have a discussion as to what their motivation is and how they can really help lift up the community and provide stronger representation. And that tied together with voter apathy is really the sort of the results of the low voter turnout. I'm also going to add that although there were advanced polls, this year the election was held on Diwali. So that may have also discouraged many people from coming out to vote on election day for those who were recognizing and observing Diwali. But I'm also going to suggest that we're one of the municipalities in Ontario that only permits in-person voting. I think if we were to consider the option of online voting, that would certainly help give some more options for those who seek to vote. Now, there may be reasons people haven't voted. They could be ill and they may not be able to leave the home. So being able to vote online provides that flexibility. Or maybe they have limitations physically. They're not able to leave the home to go and vote. So I think we need to also consider those ideas to be able to help increase voter turnout. But to come back to what Zilaf mentioned about creating awareness. So during the campaign, we were given the opportunity to speak at different places, institutions, places of worship, places of learning. We went to a Christian college. We also went to a masjid, and we also went to a local learning institution. And we talked about how the local level of government impacts our day-to-day lives, not just daily, but hourly. And I often illustrated the example, Tariq Sahab, by suggesting that when we wake up in the morning and we brush our teeth, that's a municipal service. Or when we drive our car on the road or our bicycles on the sidewalks, those are all municipal services. Or heaven forbid, if you have to call emergency services like police, fire, or paramedics, those too are services provided by the municipality. And again, back to Zilaf's point, we need to make it very clear to the public that at the local level of government, there's no party. That you're electing an individual who's capable, somebody who's determined, somebody who has qualifications, somebody who's able to help make a difference, but not just based on the words of what they're going to say, but based on their track record of what they've done in the community. And so I think that, coupled together with the other aspects that we spoke about, I think we have an opportunity to help increase voter turnout.
Thank you very much, Ranbhai. There are a few more important questions relevant to this topic. नाज़रीन इकराम, बहुत अहम मौजू है आपके लिए as a voter or for those brothers and sisters, those who have been through with this system, or of course someone at your home, your daughter, your son, your husband, your father, or yourself, or your wife, if they have this passion to serve, come forward. You have education, you have capability, ability. But again, this is a teamwork. Myself, you, we all have to look into this subject, that how we can bring our community more forward and how we can avoid those failures we have been facing for so many years. वक्त हुआ छोटे से ब्रेक का, कहीं मत जाइएगा, हमारे साथ रहें. There are more to come. You are watching Rays of Hope with Tariq Gauri.
Are you tired of low sales from your business? Are you looking for the best way to increase your sales? Contact us today and let us show your business to thousands of local and global customers. At Zee9 TV, we are a fast-growing TV channel in Canada. With a quickly growing audience size, we are helping companies and business grow by advertising to a huge number of customers. If you are looking to increase your brand recognition, promote your professional services, or increase your product sales, we provide you with the right platform to do just that, with a full return on investment in just a short time. Our commercial advertising platform is the right tool for your business. At Zee9 TV, your business is never too small to advertise, since we have different packages for everyone. Contact us today and get more exposure for your business at low rates. Call us at 647-500-9477.
Welcome to the world of flavors, where we treat your taste buds to celebrate and share the happiness, no matter how big or small they are. Welcome to Shireen Mahal, now with 4 locations in the GTA, where you get the best quality traditional Desi sweets, chicken tikka patties, hunter beef, cakes, pastries, carrot halva, halva puri on weekends served with Kashmiri chai, and much more. At Shireen Mahal, serving at 4 locations in GTA, where you get the best quality traditional Desi sweets.
Khushamdeed Adrin Muhtaram, and welcome back. Assalamu alaikum again. You are watching Rays of Hope with Tariq Gauri. बात आज हो रही है उन कैंडिडेट्स की जिन्होंने पिछले महीने शबो रोज़ एक कर दिए टू विन दैट इलेक्शन. आज वो कहाँ हैं? ये सवाल मेरे लिए भी है और उनके लिए भी है जो hundreds brothers and sisters, those who were so desperate to go and serve as a counselor for the ward they were running election for, but आज की तारीख में वो कहाँ हैं? और ये बात आज इसलिए ज़रूरी है आपके साथ करना, ताकि आप as a community member, whenever you see them, you encourage them to come forward, keep working, keep themselves engaged with the community, keep moving forward with you. This is the way for the next election they can get them ready, of course, for upcoming all exams, all tests, all election, all challenges in that particular area. Questions हम मज़ीद लेके चलते हैं अपने मेहमानों की तरफ. Ziraf, one important question. When we look at the population of our community, means Pakistani community or Muslim community in Mississauga, and if we compare to Milton, city of Milton, of course, there's a huge difference. But the results are very different. What do you think would have made so much difference, that how many members been elected in Mississauga as compared to with the population wise in Milton? What do you have to say about it?
Definitely Milton और Mississauga की population में और उनकी political demographic और population demographic में difference बहुत ज़्यादा है. But I feel like हमारे सारे लोग Mississauga से उठ के Milton जा चुके हैं अब. In Mississauga, what I've observed is that people are not as engaged politically within their community service. I really admire that about the Milton community, the Pakistani community in Milton. वो हर event में बाहर होते हैं, वो हर social events, ceremonies, whether it's political or public, they're very active and they're very engaged. और वो आपको results फिर देखने को मिलते हैं political elections के बीच में, right? Elections में आपको उनकी engagement का result मिलता है, और वो उस शक्ल में, वो काउंसलर्स की शक्ल में मिलता है आपको, कि वहाँ के इलेक्टेड ऑफिशियल्स फिर अपनी कम्युनिटी से होते हैं. मिसिसागा में हमारे यहाँ पॉपुलेशन बहुत ज़्यादा है पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी की, लेकिन एक वो जो यूनिटी जो मिल्टन में नज़र आती है वो यहाँ पे नज़र नहीं आती. काफ़ी सारे वार्ड्स में हमने देखा कि मल्टीपल पीपल फ्रॉम आवर कम्युनिटी वर रनिंग, और व्हेन दैट हैपेंस ऑल यू आर डूइंग इज़ कैंसलिंग आउट ईच अदर्स वोट्स. सो इंस्टेड कि हम हर वार्ड से अपना एक कैंडिडेट खड़ा करते और उस कैंडिडेट को पूरी कम्युनिटी मिलके सपोर्ट करते, हम 2, 3, 4 पाकिस्तानी कैंडिडेट्स एक वार्ड से खड़े हो रहे हैं और फिर हमें पता नहीं कि इसको सपोर्ट करें या इसको सपोर्ट करें या इसको सपोर्ट करें, तो वोट डिवाइड हो जाता है. दूसरी चीज़ जो मिसिसागा में है वो जो मैंने यूनिटी की बात करी है, जब आपका कोई कैंडिडेट आपकी कम्युनिटी से रन कर रहा होता है, इफ़ यू वांट योर कम्युनिटी टू मूव फॉरवर्ड एंड इफ़ यू वांट योर कम्युनिटी टू सक्सीड, whether you like that person or you don't like that person, you must go out and support that person just for that purpose कि वो आपकी कम्युनिटी का एक इंडिविजुअल है, वो केपेबल है, और अगर उन्होंने अपना नेम बैलेट में डाला है तो आपका फ़र्ज़ बनता है कि आप उनको सपोर्ट करें. आप पर्सनल ग्रजेस उस वक्त नहीं निकाल सकते हैं. यू हैव टू थिंक अबाउट द बिगर पिक्चर, और ये बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है हमारी कम्युनिटी में. हमारे यहाँ पर्सनल ग्रजेस बहुत होते हैं, और वो पर्सनल ग्रजेस पॉलिटिक्स में और हर तरह की फील्ड में, इवन अब रियल स्टेट में, you're in real estate uncle, my dad's in real estate, उसमें भी अब सामने आते हैं, हर प्रोफेशन में सामने आते हैं. सो एक वो पर्सनल आपकी पर्सनल फीलिंग्स क्या हैं एक इंडिविजुअल की तरफ, या आप उनको पसंद करते हैं एज अ पर्सन या नहीं करते, लीव दैट असाइड एंड सी वेदर दैट पर्सन इज़ केपेबल. क्या वो एजुकेटेड हैं, एक्सपीरियंस्ड हैं, क्या आपको लगता है कि वो उस पोजीशन में दे कुड डू वेल इन दैट पोजीशन एंड दे कुड लीड द कम्युनिटी फॉरवर्ड एंड ओपन डोर्स फॉर योर नेक्स्ट जनरेशन. इफ द आंसर टू एनी ऑफ दैट इज़ अ यस, you must support that person. And so there is that difference between the Pakistani community in Milton and in Mississauga. There needs to be more of a unified community in Mississauga, I believe.
आपने कई चीज़ों को यहाँ पर डिस्कस किया है, एंड दे ऑल आर लाइक सीरियस इश्यूज. इफ वी लुक एट इट, इमरान हसन भाई, प्लीज पुट सम लाइट ऑन इट. लाइक जैसे इन्होंने मेंशन किया वज़ीर अपने कि पर्सनल ग्रजेस की वजह से भी, नॉट ओनली दैट वी डोंट वांट टू वोट आवर कम्युनिटी कैंडिडेट, दो हमने ये भी देखा है कि दूसरा कैंडिडेट बाकायदा लाया जाता है, ठीक है ना, जस्ट टू डिवाइड द वोट. इसको आप क्या कहते हैं? इज़ इट लाइक पॉलिटिकल इमेच्योरिटी कहते हैं, या कम्युनिटी का हमें किस हद तक ख्याल है कि हमें उसका इससे भी अंदाज़ा होता है कि हम अगर वाक़यातन excuse me, if we just want to work for the community, so what is the way to educate or bring that maturity to our like individuals, either they are the candidates or the voters? Ran bhai, what do you say?
Tariq Sahab, I think this is a very complex question, and I'm sure in the future, God willing, we'll have some experts who can really provide some analytical feedback and input. From our own experience, I can talk about just that comment about personal grudges. And it's really disheartening and disappointing. As a candidate, you're in a vulnerable position. You contact people, you ask people for support in various ways, whether it's the most basic, which is if you live in the ward, can you vote for me, or if you are financially capable, can you donate, or if you are physically able or have the time, if you can volunteer. These are all ways you can contribute to someone's campaign. And again, it was disheartening in speaking to some members in the community, asking for their support, and they having that reservation, or as we said earlier, a personal grudge for something that may have happened years ago. And while it's acceptable to say I can't support you, I will sit idle. It's one thing, but to actually say no, I have a personal grudge and that I'm going to now work against you, that is problematic. And that is very hurtful, and that is very divisive. And it ends up putting, very capable and qualified candidates in a disparaging outcome. And it's really unhealthy, and as you said earlier, it's not very mature. But this is a community that we have, and we have to try and develop. But I think going back to what Zilaf mentioned in a previous question, we need to bring awareness and education and maybe even training to our community, and maybe we just refer to it as character building. And I think if we did that, that we would all understand what our responsibility is and how we can help move our broader community forward, and those who wish to serve our community and become, those individuals who can help open the door again for our next generation.
बिल्कुल सही फरमाया आपने. And one more aspect of this whole conversation, of course, since social media, of course, is one of the biggest tool people are using to promote them, and of course, either positive way, negative way, whatever we call them, but we see them on social media. और हम ये भी देखते हैं, some of the, again, so-called leaders, they are only available on social media. They are nowhere to be seen, like physically at anywhere. So, और ये भी आप क्या समझते हैं ज़ीनब कि क्या ये एक ऐसी वजह है, एक ऐसे रीज़न है कि हमने ये देख लिया, because I am very much famous on social media, I have so much likes and so much comments on my posts, and I have so much followers. This is good enough for me to go and get myself elected as so and so. So क्या इसको encourage करने की ज़रूरत है, discourage करने की ज़रूरत है, या उन्हें भी educate करने की ज़रूरत है? क्या कहिएगा?
I think social media is a very useful tool. मैं उसके benefits को undermine नहीं करूँगी. जहाँ पे ज़रूरत होती है social media की, हमें रखनी चाहिए. Like we need that, right? We need people to use social media and share information and share activities. लेकिन सिर्फ social media करना वो definitely it's problematic. हमें किसी ने भी मुझे 2-3 दिन पहले ही बोला कि हमारी कम्युनिटी को खींच के घसीट के आगे लाना पड़ता है, वो लोग वरना आते नहीं हैं बाहर. And I told them, I was like, even if I have to do that, I will. अगर मुझे उनको ज़बरदस्ती भी लाना पड़ा तो मैं लाऊंगी. हमें लोग ऐसे चाहिए जो सोशल मीडिया पे आप रहें एक्टिव, आप सारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स यूज़ करें और आप अपनी कम्युनिटी का एक create a good name for them and create awareness about your community and the initiatives that we take as a community. आजकल तो बहुत सारा काम हो रहा है सोशल डेवलपमेंट पे, तो आप वो शेयर करें और आप वो सोशल मीडिया पे लाएं. लेकिन सोशल मीडिया के बाहर भी बहुत सारे ऐसे काम हैं जो हमें ही निकल के करने हैं, राइट? अगर हम सब सिर्फ सोशल मीडिया पे बैठे और वहाँ पे पिक्चर्स लगा के फेमस हो के कुछ बन सकते तो हम सभी कुछ होते आज. सोशल मीडिया के बाहर एक लाइफ है और एक स्ट्रगल है जो कि हमें एज अ कम्युनिटी टुगेदर वी हैव टू go through that struggle, and without that hard work, without people coming out physically and contributing, whether that's their time, their money, their energy, their kids like my dad does normally, you have to come out and you have to do something about it if you want your community to move forward. सुबह में conversation हो रही थी, my mom was telling me actually कि like पाकिस्तानी like बच्चों को student visas नहीं मिलते, and that whole discussion. और ये discussion बहुत ज़्यादा हमारे पाकिस्तानी political spectrum में होती है. सिर्फ आप federal MPs hire करके ये problem नहीं solve कर सकते. This is just one example जो आपको हर level of government पे आपको अपने representatives चाहिए इस तरह के और इस तरह के बहुत सारे और प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए, और आपकी कम्युनिटी को सपोर्ट चाहिए. हर लेवल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट पे उनको सपोर्ट चाहिए, म्यूनिसिपल पे, प्रोविंशियल पे और फेडरल पे. तो हमारा सारा फोकस होता है फेडरल MPs एंड MPPs, और ये जो एस्पेक्ट है ये हम थोड़ा सा इग्नोर कर देते हैं. तो आप सोशल मीडिया पे डालें पोस्ट और आप सोशल मीडिया पे अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करें, लेकिन सोशल मीडिया से पहले जो आप अपना द हार्ड वर्क दैट यू हैव टू डू इन ऑर्डर टू अचीव एनीथिंग एंड इन ऑर्डर टू गेट your representatives in council, regional and city, you have to put in that hard work.
Exactly, and this is what needed to be done. from day one, then only we can have some results on board. इमरान भाई, एक अहम सवाल आपके लिए, लेट्स से हमने देखा कि हमारी कम्युनिटी से भी तकरीबन कोई 125 के लगभग लोगों ने अपना नाम बैलेट पेपर पर डाला है इस वक्त, एंड ऑफ कोर्स मेजॉरिटी गॉट a few hundred votes, and of course like we are already said that there is nothing wrong with that, but what we are discussing today कि उनका पूरा हक है कि अपने नाम को बैलेट पेपर पर ज़रूर डालें. उसकी ये सारे प्री रिक्विजिट्स हैं जो हम चाह रहे हैं कि हम आज गुफ्तगू करें, ताकि अब आपसे ये सवाल है कि लेट्स से सेम इंडिविजुअल्स, और हो सकता है कि अगले इलेक्शन तक ऐसी एक खेप और तैयार हो चुकी हो जो जाना चाहती हो एज ए काउंसलर और एमपी और एमपीपी व्हाट्सएवर, उनको आप क्या मशवरा देना चाहेंगे? Seeing you engage almost 10 years now in this community, doing whatever you can to serve community, you tried yourself your best, but of course having you in this room apparently of course is a privilege, and you are the right person to advise, even though you could not hold the office, but you're still here, you are in the community, you're still working, you never stopped yourself from being with people, those who are in need you. But again, अब जो ऐसी कोई खेप आगे आना चाहती है ऐसे कुछ हमारे यंग टैलेंट आगे आना चाहते हो, how they should start, I mean who they should go and see, what is a platform for them available to educate them, and of course उनको मोटिवेट भी किया जाए. और आज इस प्रोग्राम का मकसद भी यही है, हम किसी को यहाँ पर क्रिटिसाइज नहीं कर रहे. The whole idea is to educate and bring awareness for the ones who ran already and getting ready for the next election, or those who are willing to go next year, so they can start work from today. इमरान हसन भाई, क्या कहिएगा?
तारिक साहब, ये क्या कहते हैं, I think the basic starting point that I will suggest, and only from my little experience that I have over the last 10 years, and that is volunteer. Go out in the community, volunteer. Find different causes and volunteer your time. And hold a position within an organization, and don't just be limiting yourself to your own South Asian, Pakistani, or Muslim community. Go out into the mainstream, and get to know your neighbor, and build relationships in your community. And my father taught me at a very young age to surround yourself with people who are more talented than yourself, and find mentors, someone who will guide you, who will encourage you and show you the ropes, somebody who's older and more experienced, because there's no replacement for those years of experience that somebody can share with you, and really just have an open mind, and have an open heart, and don't take the criticism personally. It's constructive. When someone is trying to help you and better you, it's not because they're trying to belittle you. It's because they're wanting you to become stronger and become better, and become ready for what lies ahead. So there's many things that we can talk about, and inshallah in the future we'll have other opportunities and different segments and different programs to be able to talk about how we can develop these young minds. But I'm going to say that individuals should start by volunteering themselves in their community, but not in their own silos outside in the mainstream.
And that was the right advice, of course, for everyone who is watching and planning, of course, to move on with. Same question for our youth perspective, Zila. What do you think? Of course, you've been in community, engaged yourself since you were 15, if I'm not wrong, right? Almost 10 years, and you're still there. So what do you think? All my young daughters and sons, those who are watching right now and have that passion, how would you guide them how to move on with this passion? What do you say?
I think I share the same sentiments, and I would give the same advice. Just being out there in the community makes all the difference. Your volunteer service, your community service, and I know those are big words and they may sound a little intimidating, but it's as simple as finding a local group or a neighbor that needs help and going and helping them out. For me, it started in school with, I used to be part of the Eco Club in grade 10, I remember. And all we did was go around the community and pick up garbage and put it all in the garbage, just a general cleanup and, helping the environment. So that's how it started for me, and then it kept going from there. But once you put yourself out there, once you're willing, to approach and adapt to new opportunities, and you're willing to talk to people, and just even if you're unsure of what to do, call people like ourselves. I mean, I'm always available on social media. My number is somewhere out there on the internet. But I always say, if you don't know what to do, find somebody that does know what they're doing. And if you don't know where to start with whatever is nearest or closest to you, even if that's your own mosque, your school, your university, college campus. That's where I started. So start small and then keep going. The difference between somebody who is successful and somebody who doesn't take that chance is just that, the fact that I'm not any more smart than you are, and I don't have any extra special talents. It's just that I chose to show up every day. So that's what you have to do. You have to get up and you have to show up, and it's as simple as that. Find a mentor. Find me on social media.
That's great offer, and of course, those who already know you, if you do not know, contact Zee9. Of course, we can direct you towards either Imran Hassan Sahib or Zila Fatma, or hundreds of other community members, those who are really serving community, working with community. टाइम हमारे पास बहुत कम रह गया। इमरान भाई, एक चीज़ मैं और आपसे जानना चाहूँगा। अब कुछ चेहरे ऐसे हैं जो हम हमेशा देखते हैं स्क्रीन पर, चाहे वो टेलीविज़न की स्क्रीन हो, सोशल मीडिया की स्क्रीन हो, या रेडियो प्रोग्राम्स हो, अखबारात हो। आप क्या कहेंगे उन लीडर्स के लिए? अब मैं उनको लीडर्स कह रहा हूँ, और ऐसे लीडर्स जो मैंने बड़े करीब से देखे हैं, जो अपनी पूरी ज़िंदगी उन्होंने किसी मस्जिद की खिदमत करते हुए गुजार दी, and they never take any credit out of it. No one knows them. But I know hundreds of brothers, sisters like that. They have been working and serving day and night. Truly, physically, they are there almost every day. And I see them as true leader, जिनकी सर्विस से हज़ार लोग फ़ायदा उठाते हैं every day. वो लीडर्स जो छुपे हुए हैं, जो पर्दों के पीछे हैं, स्क्रीन के पीछे हैं, वो कभी अपना नाम कहीं शामिल नहीं करते। एक्सक्यूज़ मी, जिनकी तस्वीर कभी अखबारात में नहीं छपती, जो टेलीविज़न पे हमें नज़र नहीं आते, लेकिन कम्युनिटी का एक बहुत बड़ा ऐसा हिस्सा है कि जो ऐसे ही लीडर्स की वजह से आगे बढ़ रहा है। आखिरी सवाल है, आखिरी लम्हात हैं, उनके बारे में क्या कहिएगा इमाम भाई?
Tariq Sahab, I think what you're referring to is servant leadership. And we're so grateful for all of those whose shoulders that we're able to stand on and be able to continue doing the important community building that we're doing. But not to be forgotten are those people who have sacrificed, those who have given their time and their resources and contributed to building this community. There are ways that we can recognize these individuals. There's different organizations that do recognize. And I think, Tariq Sahab, if you know and I know and Zilaf knows individuals as you've described, and we all do, that we take the initiative upon ourselves to take their name and nominate them for some kind of an award or recognition, whether it's through the city or through our Ontario government or through the federal government, and if not, at least through our own places of worship and our own institutions of learning and within our own communities. And I think that is a very important aspect as well of building character within our community and lifting up our community and giving the recognition where it's due.
And I think maybe Zila further can put some light on it कि जिनकी हम बात कर रहे हैं, ऐसी फलाही तंजीमें हैं, इदारे हैं, फूड बैंक्स हैं, मसाजिदें हैं, schools हैं, जहाँ hundreds of volunteers every day they are serving community day and night. City, what can do for them? How we can approach city to acknowledge them? Of course, they don't ask for any funds. They are not paid. They are volunteers. But their time, their sacrifice, of course, they're doing for the sake of Allah, for hereafter, of course. but when as an individual, when I see that what we can do for them, we do say to thank you to them of course, but अगर हम सिटी से कुछ उम्मीद रखते हैं, ये कम्युनिटी से अगर कुछ उम्मीद रखी जा सकती है तो वो क्या हो सकती है?
So City of Mississauga has volunteer service awards. The Government of Ontario has volunteer service awards, Order of Ontario, the Queen's Award. So there are multiple awards that are actually dedicated to volunteer service for individuals that have been doing it for decades and have spent their lives serving their communities. As a community, our job is to not only nominate their names for these volunteer service awards, but also to go and support that nomination so that these individuals can be recognized. So again, social media पे post करना is great, but social media के बाद आपको ये actual जो steps हैं, nomination file करना किसी और को जिसको जो आपको पता है कि जिन्होंने अपनी life इस पे dedicate करी है volunteer service पे, उनका नाम volunteer service award के लिए आप nominate करें और फिर उस nomination को circulate करें अपनी community में ताकि उस nomination को support मिल सके, and the city can recognize that if 5,000 people are saying that this person has done all of this service and they deserve this recognition, then the city can recognize that, and then we could ensure that they receive these awards. There are a lot of members of our community who have done a ton of volunteer service, so I think we should definitely recognize that by letting city and the province know that this is the person that deserves it.
Thank you very much, Brother Imran Hassan Sahib and Zila Fatima, for all your great input. The reason, नाज़रीन मोहतरम, आज हमने इस चीज़ को इसलिए ख़ास तौर पर डिस्कस किया इन दो शख्सियात के साथ जिन्होंने थॉरली इस पूरे प्रोसेस को ऑब्ज़र्व किया है, एक्सपीरियंस किया है और आपके सामने मौजूद इसलिए हैं कि they have been doing what they're supposed to do. And not only that, हमारे वो तमाम भाई बहन, हमारे बेटे बेटियाँ, those who have been trying all their best to do that, so उनको एक रोड मैप नज़र आए, उनको एक रास्ता नज़र आए कि how to get to that point. आपके sentiments, आपके जज्बात, आपका passion of course is being acknowledged, but we cannot just go home, sit tight and wait for the next election to come out. It's not going to work this way. We want you to work. We want you to come forward. We want you to work with us. We want you to work with community. We want you to come out and help others, those who are in need of your help. In hundreds of candidates, those who put their name on ballot, they have a burden on their shoulder now. इस प्रोग्राम से हम चाहते थे कि ये अवेयरनेस हम क्रिएट करें, ये एजुकेशन आप तक पहुंचाएं कि आपके इलाके में जिसने नाम रखा है बैलेट पर, आप उन तक कम से कम एक बार पहुंचकर ज़रूर ये मालूम करें कि what are they doing now? Are they just waiting till next election, or you see them around you when you need them? This is the whole idea, but we have always hope because this is program is rays of hope. हम उम्मीद की बात करते हैं, हम उन किरणों की बात करते हैं कि इससे पहले कि कहीं वो मध्यम हो जाएं, उन्हें हम अपने इल्म से, अपनी सोच फ़िक्र से फिर एक जिला बख्श सकें, ज़िंदगी दे सकें. बहुत शुक्रिया ब्रदर इमरान हसन साहब, बहुत शुक्रिया ज़ीला फ़ातिमा. नाज़रीन कराम, इंशा ज़िंदगी रही इंशाअल्लाह आइंदा हफ्ते फिर आपसे यही मुलाकात होगी. बहुत शुक्रिया. आप देख रहे थे उम्मीद की किरणें तारिक गौरी के साथ. अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातहू.